Hello, this is our weekly team call, and this is the first call of February. And tonight, I really want to talk about Team Cup since it is Team Cup month, and I hope everybody's on a team. Even if you're not on a Team Cup for some reason, you didn't get your ass in gear and sign up, or you were, I know some people were like freaked out by it, which is totally normal, by the way. But next time Team Cup comes around, like hop on a team, because I know while it's intimidating, and that's what the thing is, a lot of people can feel intimidated. I remember my first Team Cup 5 years ago feeling the same way. And I had actually missed Success Club my first month as a coach, and that was my second month. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this, or my third month. This Team Cup was technically my third month, and I hadn't hit Success Club yet. And I signed up with people who were all hitting like Success Club 10. And I was like, this could really, what if like I let everyone down? Instead of thinking at that level, I decided to use it as the best accountability for my business and to drive myself forward. And that month I hit Success Club 14, and now I've hit Success Club every month moving forward. So, like I just want you guys to think about this for Team Cup, whether you're on a Team Cup or not. If you're not, for some reason, just pretend that you are. You won't earn the same swag, but you still move your business forward. And that's what these tips that we're going to talk about tonight is all about. But like, think about it. You're not just doing it for yourself. You're raising your level of accountability, and other people are relying on you too. And so when you're having those days in your business where life is getting you down, or you don't feel like sending out those invites, you don't feel like posting a call to action, you don't feel like doing the follow-ups and the vitals, think about how this isn't just for you this month. You're doing it for 4 other people that you're doing it with. You're doing it for the team. And really, that's how you should think about it every way, because our success, like, hopefully you guys treat this business like it's your baby, like Amber. And by the way, like you have that, it's your baby and it has to grow. And the only person who can grow it is you, and the work that you put into it. And the level of success that you create is solely dependent on you. But it's cool because Team Cup, you get to work together, you get to work with other people, you get to learn from other people, you have a higher standard of accountability, you can collaborate, and it's just a really fun way to earn free stuff that Beachbody does multiple times a year. And it's just a time to step up. And I really hope you guys see that, and I hope you guys get excited by it. And instead, if you do feel intimidated or like bummed out, because I see it happen in like the team pages, or when coaches are like, I hit Success Club, but I'm nervous about how I'm going to do it next month. Like, you have to kill that mentality. You literally just have to like remove it from your brain and be like, I'm going to find those people. Because even if you don't have that big following yet, you don't have all those Facebook friends, you feel like you're running out of your warm market, that means you have to go out there and create those contacts. You don't even have to just rely on social media either. Like, get out of your house, go to Starbucks and talk to people, go to a park. If you're a mom, go, I don't know, like mommy play dates, or like if you have a dog, go to dog parks, dog parks. I swear I can talk. One thing, when I was working as a new coach, I worked at the mall and I worked at Starbucks, and Amy challenged me to make 50 contacts a day. And while I was like, I don't have enough Facebook friends or Instagram followers to do that, so I worked at the mall, I would either show up early to my shift, and this only worked if I wasn't opening, because if I opened, I had to show up at like 4:30. The mall didn't open till later, but us at Starbucks opened at 5 anyways. So, or I would stay late and I would just walk around the mall and talk to people, which was really freaking awkward, by the way. I would like walk into the stores and I would like strike up conversations with random people, and like make contacts, and like force yourself to get uncomfortable this month. Force yourself to step outside your comfort zone, because if you find yourself saying, I don't know enough people, or there aren't enough people in my area, that is a limiting belief that you are setting for yourself. That is something that you are putting on yourself, and you just have to pull yourself out of it. It's just like any other business. Like, it takes freaking work. And the cool thing about this is you should never feel weird or spammy or bad about it, because I say this over and over, and I will continue, but we have like the total solution. We have the total solution for health with Shakeology and the nutrition plans. We have the total solution for fitness through Beachbody On Demand and all the amazing programs that just are coming out and have came out, like Transform 20. And then we have the total solution financially too with this business opportunity. So never feel bad about talking to people about it. You're just sharing something that's changing your life, that you're passionate about, and that you are using to help other people and help yourself. So you're just inviting people to better themselves. Like I remember as a new coach being like, oh, well, somebody might be offended if I invite them. And I was like, what? But I had to remove that from my brain, because that was me underestimating how amazing Beachbody was and how amazing it is and how amazing this community is and how much it has changed my life now 5 years later, even 6 months into this, 10 months into this business, how much it had changed my life. So don't underestimate the value that you have to offer as a coach, and really put yourself out there this month. So that being said, tonight, I want this to be an open discussion, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on this call because there is a call, if you guys are up to date with everything happening next month, the Ultimate Portion Fix launches, which is Autumn's like revamp of the 21-day fix and portion fix. I'm really excited about it. I know Amber is too. It's been out for 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. It'll be 5 years in March, right? That sounds 4, 5. I just like was looking 5. Yeah. I was like, how long have I been a coach? When did this happen? But so this was such a game changer for Beachbody and just everybody. It made nutrition so much easier, and it's literally what I've followed for the past 5 years, with the exception of 2B Mindset. But it's literally every time I go back to, and what I love, Ultimate Fix is just revamping it and also updating it and taking it to the next level. And they're also redoing the workouts and everything. But so Autumn hopped on a call last night, and she actually did it for one of our upline teams. So you guys know you're a part of Set Your Soul on Fire, that we have a bigger upline team called the Empire. And Barbie Decker collabed with a couple other coaches like Melanie Mitro and something, and Autumn hopped on, but it wasn't recorded. But I actually found the same call she did for another large team or teams. So I really want you guys to watch that tonight, because Autumn just shares everything that you need to know about the Ultimate Fix, and so you can be on top of it. So I'm going to share that link in the team pages under this flyer, and I'll post it in the team pages as well, but I want everybody to watch it. I'll post it with the time to actually start, because it's a whole team call. I think the whole time is like an hour and 22 minutes, but Autumn's only talking like 35, 40 minutes. You can watch the whole team call. It's an amazing team call. I watched the whole thing because it's just a lot of inspiration and you'll learn a lot. But if you just want it for Ultimate Fix, it's like 35, 40 minutes of your time. What I'm really excited for is that you can get certified like you can with 2B Mindset with that. And that'll just take your business to the next level, help you help your customers. It'll help you like set yourself apart a little bit. But yeah, so that'll be your assignment after this call, is to watch that. And I'm going to share that link in the team pages. But now I want to open this up for discussion. And again, if you're not on a team cup, you can still, I want everybody to talk. And this will still help you, because we're just going to talk about an action plan for February and things that you can do to stay accountable to your team cup and to the team, and to really make February your month. Because I know it's a shorter month, and I've seen people being like, I don't know how I'm going to have success though, because it's a shorter month. I'm like, it's not that short. It's a couple days shorter. But I mean, we still have tons of time. We're only at the 5th right now. But so I want to go over a couple things that I have an idea. And something I just want to remind you guys too, because I see sometimes on these calls, we get caught up in like creating systems for ourselves. One thing that I just want to stress for you guys is action trumps systems. And you don't have to have all the systems set up to hit Success Club. You need to frickin' focus on the action and the vital behaviors. So let's talk a bit about the action. If anybody wants to start sharing what's working for them, one thing that I will start with is something that I was sharing on my Team Cup call yesterday with my girls, is that it was literally the most basic thing. So my success partner is Amanda Rakowski, and last month she started going through and inviting people, like her followers. And I've always invited, like, sometimes if I'm not inviting based off my stories or people who like my post, I go to my followers or friends on Facebook or whatever. It works for either. But on Instagram, I was just like going to my list of followers. And if you've ever like looked at your followers, it's like random and sporadic. And if you refresh, it changes. So it didn't make any sense. The easiest thing that Amanda taught me, she's like, I just go click on my followers and then you type the letter A and then all of the A names come up. And I just started inviting all of the A's and then all of the B's and then all of the C's. And I was like, why was that? Why did I never think about that step? Like, why was this so much harder for me? Like, why was I going just to the list and trying to keep track that way? And I've been trying to do 50 to 100 invites a day. And one thing with that, though, is that because I'm not writing down everybody's name as I'm inviting them, because I'm just doing a basic invite that I'm sending, just very to the point. I'm like, hey girl, you interested in joining the group that I'm running this month? I know you've been watching my stuff and thank you for your support. Hope you're having a great week. Like something very basic. We've talked about the invites a billion times. They're in the files section. But I just tally. So I keep track. Again, I'm focusing on action. I'm not trying to be like perfect or like a perfectionist about this. And then if they say they're interested back, and I get their email, that is when I write them down as a contact and someone who I can future like follow up with as well. So that's something I'm doing. If somebody else wants to share what they're doing for invites for that. Remember, this is supposed to be a collaboration. Somebody. Anybody?
I'll talk. Cause I, like can't even like form a sentence right now. Hello.
Thank you for like showing up with a newborn.
This is the only social time I get. Okay. So, as you guys know, I just had a baby and I worked out up until the end. But it was very, very half-assed, but I still showed up, and that was part of the action I think Kate's kind of talking about, like I think just going through the motions of being like, I don't know how inspiring this is, but I'm just going to do it. And then just trying to be on my stories now, even though it's like all baby stuff, but that still is a way for me to connect with people, like people that are moms. And it's just being present and reminding people of what I'm doing. And so today I kind of realized, well, I've already known this, but because I knew I always try to run my challenge groups like every third Monday of the month. And I knew before I had Violet, I knew I wanted February 11th to be the next challenge group. And so basically like as soon as I had some energy, I was like talking about February 11th, even though I'm clearly not working out and I'm clearly busy. It's still just like me talking about and talking about where I'm at right now in my life and creating the FOMO around the fact that I can't do it, but I'm really excited for my, team and help people do it. And then I'm going to join back in as soon as I can, so, and then collecting some emails and getting people's just talking about on my stories anytime. And if people are watching your stories, you can always message them. You don't have to wait for them to message you. But I have had some people reach out and show interest. So I am at Success Club 4. My goal is to it is Team Cup month, but if I can not work out and have a newborn and hit Success Club 10, I will be freaking stoked. But I've always hit higher. So I'm not going to limit myself, and it is Team Cup month. But I had the realization that next month, March, is like going to be here pretty soon, and I can start working out, I'm pretty sure. Unless I imagine the doctor would say I couldn't. So then, yeah. And then I don't know yet. I'm still pretending like I'm going to do Transform 20. I don't know though, because when March comes, I might be talking about, well, I guess the 21 day fix isn't until April 1st. So I'm still not sure, but anybody that wasn't ready to join it on the 11th, I'm like, okay, well next month, and I haven't picked a date yet. I don't really know exactly, but it's just, I guess what I'm doing is just staying present on my social media and like following up with people, still talking about the challenge group, even if I'm not doing it. Because I still think creating FOMO is really, really important, and talking up your community and talking up, anything you can do. So if you're like a new coach, I know we have some new people on here too, or you don't have your own challenge group, or you don't have a lot of challengers, like screenshot stuff that's going on in your challenge group. You can like cross out their name if you don't want to like put them on blast. And I feel like I share that in my stories, just trying to create FOMO about like what's going on in our challenge groups. And because I think it's really great how much people share. Like I learned so much from everyone with recipes, and, it's really, really inspiring. So if you can't share something like yet, like lean on the team and share that, and just try to create any kind of FOMO you can. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay excited about the future and create FOMO, and yeah, that's what I'm doing.
No, and I think that's awesome. And if you like, I'm sure everybody also follows Amy, and Amy still can't work out till like the 18th. And that's exactly what she's been doing. She's still been talking about her challenge group and inviting. Just because she can't work out doesn't mean she's like out of it. And I think sometimes I see this with new coaches, is they're like, well, I can't invite because I don't have a transformation yet and I have to get results yet. And just because you're not there doesn't mean you don't have to like invite. That's why we have this team. That's why we have the transformations from each other that we can all share and we can all use, and the community to tap into. So I love that.
Yeah, and you can just be honest and be like, I'm starting this program. I am new to it, but I am really excited because of like all the success the other girls are having, and like who wants to join me or whatever. You can always just be honest about where you're at right now. You don't have to like pretend like you've, done all these programs you haven't done. Just be transparent about like what you're excited about.
Anyone else?
I can share.
Okay.
So on Sunday, my team, Wendy is part of my team, we had our first call, and we kind of decided that our homework was to just send short thank you notes to anyone that had liked an image recently or had been watching our stories. And what I did is, it was very, very simple. It was just like, hey lady, I just wanted to say thanks for liking my post recently. I appreciate your support. And then I'd plug in a question that was like personal to them. So like one person I asked, how long have you been cycling for? So it steered right into a conversation of fitness. And then I kind of just let the conversation go from there, and sent all of those people that didn't naturally steer to fitness conversation an official invite today. And I got like 5 different emails.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so leading with gratitude seemed to help me a little more. And I think it's helping my like team cup team.
I love that. Thanks for sharing.
That's awesome.
And I think that's important too. And like we were talking about this on our team cup call, because I don't spend a lot of time forming. Like we talk about forming, and basically forming is like getting to know the people that we're inviting first. And that's because I talk to people in my stories every day, and I have those conversations, but I normally just send an invite. Because I would get so caught up in like the conversation, and it would lead to a dead end. And I see that happen to a lot of people. But what I like about that is that you had like a plan, that if it didn't lead to fitness, you gave it a couple days and then you sent that invite. So you still have like a plan to like get it there. So I love that.
Yeah, it was nice, because then I'm not just some weirdo slipping into their DM saying, hey, pay me money. So it seemed more natural.
And I think it is whatever works for you and finding that groove. So another thing, so we talked about invites. And again, you can do that for like your friends on Facebook. You can do that to your followers. And again, I really encourage everybody to get outside their comfort zone this month if you can, and like leave the house and talk to people in public. Make a goal of like talking to like 5 people in public a week if you can. And this is really hard for me to do, because I've always kind of been, I worked in customer service for years, but I've always kind of been an extroverted introvert where like if I know someone, I will talk your ear off. But if like I don't know someone, I get really uncomfortable and I don't like to strike up a conversation. And I've only become more introverted since I started working from home. But I did like set this challenge for myself to like make myself go out in public and like start a conversation with people, because I think sometimes we limit ourselves, and this month is all about pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone. So I really want to encourage everybody to do that. The next part of this action plan that I wanted to talk about tonight is following up. Make this month be like follow-up February. That's what I'm calling it. So again, follow-ups, I see this question a lot, is like, how soon can I follow up with someone? If you've emailed them like step one, and so I don't follow up with someone unless I got a yes that they are interested and I've sent them step one of the scripts. Just to be clear, like that's who I follow up with, at least step one of the script, somebody who I've heard interest from. We've been talking. And you can follow up 2 days, like you could follow up a day later. You can follow up, I normally do 3 days, a week, and a month. You could do every other week. This month we've got plenty of time left to do that, but I would just make sure you have a system. And I know action trumps systems, but for this, just again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but like a way that you are going to track your follow-ups, because you'll hear this time and time again, but fortune is in the follow-up. So it may not, like sales and challenge packs and getting somebody signed up may not always happen on that first conversation. On average, I think it takes 5 conversations is like the statistic. So remember that this month when you're talking to people is to not to feel like bummed if you don't hear back from someone. Again, I like to remind people that when they get frustrated when they don't hear back from someone right away, like it's not their job. Like it is our job to like respond. It's not their job. It's not like normal for them. It's our normal, but fortune's in the follow-up. So again, does anybody have a good follow-up that's been working for them or anything that they've been doing with that? Anybody wants to share? Katie, I'm going to call you out. Because I can. And you're just there.
So I'm probably the worst person to call out for follow-ups.
But that's good because it's accountability.
No, exactly. Because I don't have a great follow-up system. I think Eden has an amazing follow-up system. I think Google Streak, if you can sit down and like use Google Streak and get something like that set up, I think it's really like, you should really do it. I do keep track of people by like pen and paper. And then people who have said like, no, or not right now, I always try to follow up like each month. If it's like, they're not responding, but they're still watching my stories, like I send them an invite every month. And I think that that's like really key, is if they're still watching you, even if they're not responding, you, to me, that's still like I'm interested. But yeah, maybe they're just not comfortable responding right now. Maybe they don't think it's time. Maybe they need more proof from you that the product works. I know I watched Kate for like 9 months, I think, before I signed up. And I'm also somebody who has tried like every weight loss scam shortcut available on the market before I was like, oh, hey, you actually just have to eat healthy and work out. So I think people need to kind of see a lot more. And so that's why they watch for a long time. So if people like, I don't really take it as a no when people don't respond. And I think that's a huge part, is like, they're still watching your stories, like send that invite again. Cause I think that's, I don't know, they're still watching.
Oh, and if somebody like doesn't respond, like I send them an invite and I see their name watching my stories, I'll send them, or I see them liking my post, I totally call them out in a message. And maybe that's aggressive, but I'm going to do it kind of like, I think of it as a loving way. I'm like, hey girl, I just want to check in with you and see if you saw or it says you read my last message, but I know sometimes I'm horrible. I see them, I don't respond. I just wanted to let you know, I see you watching my stories. Joining me is way more fun. And it's just like something lighthearted. Like I don't consider it pushy. I don't consider it like aggressive, but I also call them out a little bit because it works. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, or I did see it, or I was nervous to respond, or whatever. But normally people aren't like F off or anything like that. But yeah, I would, and so for the newer coaches on here, you're like, okay, maybe I don't have anybody to follow up with yet. So I would step up your invites, and then you will have those people to follow up with. So that's where I would focus your action on, is those invites, and then you have those people to follow up with later on in the week, and then making sure you're following up with, you have like a list of like 10 to 15 people to follow up with every other day or multiple times a week or whatever works for you, but like make February the month of follow-ups. The next thing that I wanted to say is like for Team Cup, and I mean, this works for everything, because something that I've heard and that I like to remember is momentum creates momentum. So that being said, like what you're doing now, you can't just stop and start and stop and start. It's like an uphill battle that way, but your momentum that you're creating now will create momentum. So find extra ways this month to add value. This could be sharing recipes on your stories. It could be, and this is like, I feel like recipes are the most simple, most relatable way to add value, because if you ask people what they want, 99% of the time is like healthy recipes that taste good. So you can go to Pinterest. There's so many on the Beachbody On Demand blog. It is ridiculous. You can start sharing them in your challenge groups. You could run like a free clean eating group this month for like clean recipes. But like find different ways to add value this month. And it doesn't have to be with that either. That's just like the first thing that came to mind. It could be like, see like foods in my brain. I think I'm hungry, because I was like, you could do like a crock pot recipe theme, or like an Instant Pot. Who uses crock pot now that Instant Pots are a thing? But you could do like a water challenge, or you could do like hair tutorial. Like literally there's so many makeup tutorials, hair tutorials, mom tricks, or mom life hacks, like so many different things, meal prep. I keep going back to food. Obviously, that's where my brain's at. But like, there's just so many different ways to add value with this. But like, get creative this month and find different ways to add value. And if anybody has any ideas for that, you can share. But that is something that I really want to encourage everybody to do.
I was just going to share, because Eden has been sharing in her mornings. She'll post on her stories a quote from her personal development. And it's literally like one line.
I just
like
noticed her doing
less than 5 words, and it like just like a little blurb. And I think she mentioned on our Team Cup call that she was getting people who were just messaging her and were like, oh my God, needed to read that this morning. And so like, one, I think that's really awesome. Like I'm starting a new personal development book, and I'm incorporating that into my like February challenge, that we're going to kind of have like a book club thing with it. But sharing that like one quote from your personal development, I think people love reading that when they're scrolling through stories. They love seeing those. Like I love going on personal development Instagrams and just looking up the quotes and stuff. So that's definitely a trick that or a tip I'm gonna use too.
Oh, that's such an easy way to add value too. And that is something that so many people can relate to. And as soon as you said that, I always think about when I share like a quote or something from personal development, I always get messages like, needed to hear this today. And that's a great way to start a conversation. Okay. So extra ways to add value. Again, there are so many different ways. Even if you just look at the vital behaviors and like really think about that, personal development, like your workouts, just so many different ways to add value. But I really encourage everybody to get creative, because when you add more value, that's setting you aside from that's setting you apart from other coaches. And that's going to make people want to join with you versus somebody else. And then one other thing that I wanted to suggest for the action plan is more call to actions, and getting creative with your call to actions too. Things like mentioning it in your posts, mentioning it in your stories, mentioning it going live, and just throwing out more call to actions, because I think sometimes we think it just has to be on a transformation, or we have to have this long drawn out post, instead of just throwing it out there, being like, my next group is starting this. Like Amber's constantly talking about her next group all the time. So like, don't be stingy this month with your call to actions, and find more ways to get creative and like throw it in there in every post or every other post. It doesn't even have to be talking about your, like, it could be a post talking about your food or your children, and be like, oh, by the way, my next group is starting here. Make sure if you want to get in on it, you email me, you message me, you drop a emoji, you drop your email, whatever call to action that you like to do. You're like throwing that in there and always reminding people, because again, that's a great way to invite people who like that post, who comment on that post. You can always just reminding people that you have something for them to join. And again, these are all great things that'll help you every single month, but just like really driving into creating momentum for Team Cup. And then again for March and April and every month moving forward. That's really what I wanted to talk about tonight, because again, like I said, right after I end this, I'm going to share in this thread the call that I want you guys to watch about Ultimate Fix. And again, it is a longer call, but the part where Autumn's talking is only like 35, 40 minutes. So you don't have to watch the entirety of the call. If you can, because it's a great call with a great training at the end of it too, from another elite coach who I like to follow. But it's just important to be on top of knowing what's going on and building hype around that. And again, one thing that I like that I'm going to bring back to like what Amber said is, she's like, I don't know what I'm doing next month yet. She's not sure she's doing Transform 20, but she's just talking about it. And like, you don't have to necessarily have like a strict plan of what you're doing, just that you're going to do something and you are letting people know that you have something going on that they can join. So, with that, I just wanted to thank you guys for hopping on the call and taking time out of your night. Again, this is a shorter call because I want you guys to watch this other call. So if you're watching the recording for this, make sure you go back to the thread and the post in the team page where I'm going to share the recording from this other call with Autumn. And it really is important for you guys. And like, I just didn't want to waste a bunch of your time, but it's a good training and it's good to know everything about what's going on, so you can start inviting people to that, especially people who struggle with nutrition, because this program is going to be huge. And what you can even say this month is that for all the people who say no, you can put them on that list for next month for this, but you can also be like, we're getting ready to dive into this next month. So we're going to start with basic nutrition this month, and then next month we are going to take it to the next level with Ultimate Portion Fix. I wouldn't call it that, but like, that's how you can also bring hype to that too. And we'll have another call about that. But I just want to make sure everybody was in the know and we could have this talk. And hopefully this call was helpful. And if you have any other ideas, like share them in the threads and we can keep it going. But I just really encourage everybody to take Team Cup Month seriously. And instead of feeling overwhelmed or worried about not hitting Success Club or letting people down, like use it to like step up. And remember, you're not just stepping up for yourself, you're stepping up for your team and this team and the accountability that that brings. And you're doing it for yourself and to prove to yourself that you can make this your month. No matter where you're at, no matter where you're at today, where you're starting from, you can make this happen if you just focus on action, which is what we talked about tonight. So thank you guys so much for showing up. And I hope you guys have a good night. And I'm going to go post that recording for the other call in the thread. So thank you guys. Bye.